Okay, folks. So we're back for round two of this one. Apologies if you tuned into the live feed at 12. I'm learning some things about my new microphone. For example, what color the different colors of lights mean when they blink at me. So yes, this is 25 minutes. It is just a flow, no vinyasas in it, and pretty simple, just a little bit of movement for the body to wake you up and get you moving. You might be sitting at a desk for a while today, so that's it. Okay, let's go. So you're starting in a seated position. I'm sitting on a pillow. You can do the same if you would like. Just anything comfortable seated. Something that you can find some length in your spine. Let the shoulders drop back. Then your hands, they can sit on your knees. They can be facing up. They can be sitting together in your lap. Again, just something comfortable that works best for you. Then thinking about lengthening through the back of your neck, letting your chin tuck just a little bit towards your chest, not all the way down, just enough so you're really encouraging the length in the back of your neck. And then go ahead, close your eyes. From here, you're just taking maybe 5 to 10 deep breaths. Watching this midsection of the body here, watching as it expands outwards on the inhale and then contracts inwards on the exhale. And just take another 3 deep breaths. Breathing through the nose as much as possible. Here, you can leave your eyes closed if you would like to. Otherwise, slowly start to let them open. And staying tall in your chest, staying level in your shoulders. Drop your left ear towards the left shoulder here, getting a little bit of stretch through the right side of your neck. Then tip your gaze down the way. Then bring your chin towards your chest. So your head is kind of rotating around. Keeping the gaze down, bring your head towards the right, and then tip your gaze up, and then bring the head up to the top, and then going in the opposite direction, right ear towards the right shoulder, gaze tips down, the chin comes down towards the chest, gaze stays down as the head goes to the left, gaze tips up, head comes up, and then we'll maybe do 2 more on each side. So left ear towards the left shoulder, gaze down, chin to the chest, head to the right, gaze up, head comes up, right ear to the right shoulder, gaze drops, head tips down, chin to the center of the chest, head to the left, gaze comes up, head lifts, once more each side, left ear to the shoulder, gaze comes down, chin to the chest, head to the right, gaze tips up, head to the top. Last one. Right ear to the shoulder, gaze down, chin to the chest, head to the left, gaze tips up, head lifts. And we're going to stay in your seated position for this next bit. However, if your legs are crossed, go ahead and just switch them so that you're in the opposite leg is in front. You might be sitting on your shins. That's absolutely fine. Just stay where you are. Again, just moving with your breath. Take your left hand down next to your left hip, just on the mat somewhere. It doesn't need to be any particular placement. We're just going to work on opening the sides of the body. Inhale, the right arm reaches up. Exhale, right arm reaches over to the left. Inhale, come back up to the top. Exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, left arm reaches over to the right. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, reach across. Inhale, top. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, reach across. Inhale, back up. One more each side. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, reach across to the right. And inhale, back up to the top. Exhale, release the left hand down to your side. So you're going to come over into tabletop now. If you're sitting on a prop, you can move it out from underneath you. Just position yourself on your mat with the hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Now from here, first option, stay right where you are. Second option, you will use child's pose instead of downward facing dog. Hips will drop back towards the heels, forehead drops towards the mat. And your final option is downward facing dog. So if your body is ready for it, if you're comfortable with down dog, go ahead, lift your knees and reach the chest back towards your toes. Legs do not have to be straight. Just take a deep breath here. This is just a transitional posture, so I'm not going to go into a huge amount of points of performance for this posture here. On your next inhale, you can step your right foot between the hands. Right foot steps forwards. If the back knee is lifted, go ahead, set it down. And then bring your hands up onto your hips. Now you can leave your back toes under, that's tucked under. That's going to help with your stability here and your balance. Front knee is right on top of the ankle. Your glutes are switched on here. You're squeezing your butt and tucking your pelvis forwards here a little bit. You're looking for opening in the front of your back leg, the front of your left leg here. Go ahead, inhale, reach the arms up overhead. So you're still getting this opening through the front of the left leg. Palms are faced in towards one another. Fingers reach up. And the shoulders are dropping down. Take one more breath. Then exhale, bring the hands to the mat. Half Hanumanasana, half splits. Your front leg starts to straighten out. As that front leg straightens, your hips are going to shift back until they're eventually over this back knee. Now, what some of you might need to do is bring your hands up onto your hips for this. That's fine if that needs to happen, so you can keep a long spine. Front ankle wants to flex. Now, for me, my hips usually go a little too far back over this knee. So I'm going to lengthen my stance just slightly so my back thigh is totally vertical, straight up and down. From here, front leg is active and straight. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. So again, your hands might be lifted. Maybe they're on your thigh. Your hands might be able to come to the mat, but don't force it. Don't reach by rounding your upper back. You want an open chest. Just take one more breath. And then from here, we're going to pivot to the left. So keeping that front leg straight, let your back shin rotate behind you as your chest turns to face the left. Spin your right toes down on the mat in front of you. So this right leg is still straight. Your back knee, your left knee is still bent, and that knee is still underneath your hips here. From here, we're coming into a little bit of a fold. So keep this front leg straight and strong. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Now you can just walk your hands out in front of you a little bit maybe. Some of you will drop to the forearms. Some of you will extend your arms a little further out in front of you. You can interlace your fingers and just let the forearms slide away from the body. Your forehead might drop down towards the mat. Now, depending on what variation you've got here, you'll feel a few different things. Main thing is the inside of your right leg, your inner thigh, your groin area. Some of you might also feel your upper body a bit. If you're extending the arms overhead, you might feel a bit in your shoulders. Take another 2 breaths. Last one. And then bring the arms back to where they started. So the hands are under the shoulders. You're pivoting back forwards into your lunge. So walk the hands forwards. Front toes turn forwards. Back toes spin back the way. Front knee is bent. Bring your hands back up onto your hips once again. Coming into a little bit of a chest opener. Front leg, stay strong. Take the hands behind you, interlace your fingers. Inhale, reach through the knuckles so that the arms straighten out. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Then see if you can pull the arms away from your back. So you're creating distance between your knuckles and your hips here. Your pelvis still tucked under just like in the first lunge and still moving forwards just a little bit, getting some opening in the front of the back leg. First option, stay here, keeping the chest opener. Second option, take a bit more of a back bend. Start to reach your upper shoulders towards the back heel. 2 more breaths. Keep pulling the belly up and in. Last one. Back to the top. Inhale, lift the chest. Release the bind of the hands. Bring the hands to the mat. Take the same option from that first round or something different if it feels good now. Step your right leg back, either just into tabletop for a breath, into child's pose for a breath, or into downward facing dog. Again, this is just a transitional posture, so you don't have to worry too much about what option you're taking here. Into the other side. Inhale, the left foot steps between the hands. Back knee sets down if it's lifted. And then go ahead, bring your hands up onto your hips again. Now from here, once again, front knee on top of the ankle. Squeeze your butt, tuck your pelvis forward. So your pelvis, your hips, they can tilt back the way or they can tilt under. This under is what you're looking for here so that you're opening and extending the front of your right hip here. So your butt is squeezed. Go ahead, inhale, reach the arms up. So your pinkies are turning in towards one another just a little bit, helping to open your chest, encouraging that external rotation in your shoulder rather than internal rotation, which would close off your neck and your chest. You want to open. One more. Then exhale. Hands come down to the mat. Into your half splits. Start to straighten your front leg. Again, if you need that little bit of extra space, bring your hands up onto your hips as you set this up. Front ankle is going to flex. Again, if you're like me, you might need to lengthen your stance a little bit. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Again, hands might stay on the hips. They might come to the thigh. They might make it to the mat. 2 more here. Last one. And then you're going to pivot to the right this time. So as the hands start to walk to the right, your back shin is going to turn in. Your front toes are going to turn down. I'm going to adjust myself a little bit so that I don't have too much of my plant in my face. Now, grounding into the outer edge of that left foot that's out in front of you. Keep this left leg strong so that you're finding some opening underneath the thigh. Now from here, you can stay or you can fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, maybe the hands just walk out in front of you a little bit. Maybe you drop to the forearms. Maybe you again get that bit more in the upper body. So if it feels good, you can interlace the fingers and then extend the arms out in front. And just another 3 breaths on this side. And then you're going to return back up to the top. So walk the arms back in where they came from. Walk around to the front, back into your lunge. So the front knee is over the ankle. Back knee is behind you. Hands up onto your hips. Find stability in your legs first. Take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Inhale, reach back through the knuckles, open the chest. First option, stay, reaching the knuckles away from you. Second option, a bit further of a back bend. So if you're going there, start to lift up through the lower back. You want upwards through the lower back and then back through the tops of your shoulders. Maybe just 3 breaths, whatever option you've got. Squeeze your right glute, find some opening in the front of your right hip. When you've had enough, come on back to the top, release the bind, hands to the mat, step that left leg back, again, down dog, tabletop, or child's pose, whichever option suits you
Take just 2 or 3 breaths. And then everybody come on into tabletop. So the knees are down and the hands are going to start here underneath your shoulders. Now, we're going to come into puppy dog, which is an opening for your chest and for your thoracic spine, which is your upper spine. Similar to child's pose, except the positioning of your hips is slightly different. So instead of dropping your hips back here, your hips are going to stay right on top of your knees. Now from there, go ahead, start to walk your hands forwards and let the chest drop. So you're not bringing the hips forwards with you either. They want to stay back. The chest is getting lower. You can go ahead, drop your forehead to the mat here as well. Now, if you've got a whole lot of space in your upper back, some of you are going to find this pretty easy. You can, at that point, bring your gaze forwards, set your chin down to the mat, and let your chest reach down. What you're trying to get here is this opening in your upper back. So with the arms forwards, pushing down through the hands, let the chest and the rib cage really reach down to the mat here, whatever option you're in. Take another 2 or 3. Keep the arms strong, push down through the palms. Last one. And then you're going to return to the top. So walk the hands back in and then push yourself back up into tabletop. And you're just coming into a seat from there. So you can kick the feet out from underneath you. Have a seat on the mat, bringing the legs straight out in front. Now, as usual, if you need a little bit of support, if you're already starting to collapse back here in your lower spine, grab a pillow or a block or just roll up the mat behind you and sit on that rolled up bit of mat. That little bit of elevation is going to help to lengthen your spine. Once you're there, kick through the heels, reach forwards, inhale. Exhale, fold, hinge at the hips, hands coming towards your legs somewhere. Doesn't matter if the hands land on your shins, your ankles, or your feet. What matters is you have a long spine and you're feeling that opening in the backs of your legs. And just 2 more here. Last one. And then release. Come on back up to the top. Bend your right knee up towards you. Drop the right knee out to the side. Your right foot is now pressing into your left inner leg. Inhale, lift up and reach. Exhale, fold. Same thing, whatever's available for your hands to take a hold of on that left leg. Just 2 more here, breathing into the back of the left leg, maybe into the right hip as well. Release, come on up to the top. Bring the right knee back up towards you, but keep the knee bent. The foot is grounded on the mat. Into a twist. Left arm wraps around the front of your right leg. You might just be grabbing the calf. You might reach all the way back and grab your thigh. Your right hand comes onto the mat behind you. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, twist. Turning, maybe taking your gaze back over your right shoulder. Take another 2 or 3 here, letting the hips stay grounded as your chest and your rib cage spin towards the back of your mat. And then release. Go ahead, come back around to the center. Let the right leg extend once again. Bend your left knee up towards you. Drop the left knee to the side. Janusasana to start. So your left foot presses into your right inner leg. Right leg kicking forwards. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, fold. Hands towards your right leg. Your chest is reaching towards your toes here. Rather than thinking chest or forehead to the leg, move forwards instead of downwards, chest to toes. Last one here. And then up to the top. Inhale, lift the chest. Bring the left knee up towards you. Left foot is grounded on the mat. Into your twist. Right arm wraps around the left leg. Again, either just to the calf or all the way over to the thigh. Your left hand onto the mat behind you. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Maybe 2 more here. Let that little bit of rotation happen on these final exhales. And then release. Come back around to the center. Draw your right knee back up towards you, so both knees are pulled in. And then you're coming right down onto your back. So take the knees with you, roll back and down. And just take a few breaths here. Hug the knees into your chest. Now as the knees hug up, don't let the hips come as far up with you. You want the hips and the lower back to stay grounded, and you're just increasing that closing between the belly and the thigh to bring the knees any closer. One more. And then preparing your Savasana. You can release your legs, letting them go long to the mat. Release the arms by your sides. The palms are facing upwards. If there's a more comfortable position for your body, you're welcome to find it. Close the eyes. Savasana. Release the fingers and the toes. Release the ankles and wrists. The knees and elbows. Let the hips and the shoulders sink down to the mat. Your lips may slightly part as you release your jaw. Softening the space between the eyebrows. Listening to any sounds that may be around you. Letting them wash over your body. Creating stillness. Finding the space that exists inside your mind. Finding some peace.
to introduce some movement to the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes, circling ankles and wrists. Inhale to reach the arms overhead, reaching long through the fingers and through the toes. Exhale, draw the knees into the belly, wrap the arms around them, giving yourself one last big hug, rocking from side to side. Eventually winding up on your right hand side, using your right bicep as a pillow. Remaining in Savasana with your eyes closed. And when you're ready, press into your left palm, coming up to any comfortable seated position. Palms may press together at chest center if you choose. May you take only what is offered, take only what you need, and always give more than you take. Stay safe, stay kind, and stay patient. Thank you. Namaste.